Hello again. Apparently, I'm crazy and can't sleep. So, what better way to do than, explain Davinci Resolve to you? So, today we're going to do audio project setup. And what I mean by that actually is I'm going to explain to you guys how I actually, set up my projects for Davinci Resolve to do audio post and why I do it a certain way. So, let's load up Davinci Resolve, listen to the fun music while it loads, and get into it. It shouldn't take too long, right? No, I mean, I'm loading Resolve. Should be loading. Right? I think. Yeah, it always works. Maybe click on it again. There, now I got the spinning thinking wheel. Click on Resolve. There we go. Yes, loading project settings, edit page, Farlight page, color page. Almost there, I think. Maybe, yes, cool. I won't bore you guys with the music any longer. Make a new project here to show you. Cool. So for this, I'm not going to pull in clips. I'm not going to do all that fun stuff because we don't need to. So there are many things I could show you guys. Many tabs, many functions. We're going to focus on the Farlight tab, and that's where we're going to see most of the setup and anything related to the Farlight window in that top command window drop down menu. It's going to kind of show you how we set that up and well, sorry, sickness does not cause me to feel congested. Okay. Really do that and why we do such a thing. So let's go into it and go from there. So the first thing we want to do is go to this little music note, which is the Farlight tab. Now, it would not load that up. It probably was going to bring you to an effects window. You'd have a bunch of tracks if there was stuff in here. If there was any tracks loaded in the mixer, you'd have that. Let's okay, you need some sort of footage to mess with. Okie dokie then. Let's see if I can find some footage. I know. The video I just made. That'll be fun. Cool. Let's just, say this was our film. Because it totally is our film. Back to the Farlight tab. Cool, now we got this stuff. So you see here, there's audio 1, bus 1. What I like to do is name my tracks. Obviously this is a footage I recorded, so it's stereo. It would be usually mono. Put in the character's name, talking, but there's a lot more stuff. If we look on monitor 2 here, so we got kind of a video, we got some controls. There's not much here right now, it looks kind of boring. So we're going to go to this Farlight tab, and you see there's the first two options, there's bus format and bus assign. So bus format is where we're going to start, and that's where I want to actually set up the different buses, sub-buses, things like that. Now, buses is kind of essentially just different audio tracks. You can mix things on, blend things together. I'm going to create some sort of like different stems, which are basically, so like dialogue stem, take the dialogue, throw it into a dialogue kind of channel stem, which then goes up to our main mix. So I'm going to create a bunch of different buses. So six, 8. But good. No one's really doing it really, unless you're mixing for DVD, you're not doing anything over 5.1. So for this example, I won't do over that because I'm only 5.1, which is, for those of you who don't know, 5.1 is you have 2 fronts, a middle, 2 rears, and a sub, which is usually down below. So for me, it's probably reversed for you, but for me it's left, right, rear left, rear right, and then your center channel, and then your sub. So that's how you get the 5 channels, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the 1.1, which is the sub. I'm going to call this M1, which is for mix. Stereo. I probably can't spell, but that's okay right now. M2. M and E. Right, so you might be wondering, why did I do 2 stereo mixes that I'm going to output to? And what is that M and E? Is it milk and eggs? No, not really. Basically, you have, if you were to release a film, and you might want to do a foreign dub, if you just did a stereo mix with the dialogue, music, and effects, that's not going to go over very well when you want to dub over it. It's possible, but it's not fun. This way, by doing a M&E mix, you are giving everything but the dialogue, so you can then dub over that foreign language. The person who is going to get this to do that foreign language dub will be really happy you did that. And we'll do the same thing here for our 5.1 mix. I am very picky about stuff being exact. Notice I didn't. M for 1, M and E. Now we're going to have our stems. So when you're editing, you have your dialogue stem, your background stem for background noise, not necessarily room tone, but could fall into that. I used it for that a few times, but I know some people who wouldn't agree with that. Your third stem is for your sound effects. This is also fully anything you've added in, anything that's not part of the dialogue or the background noise that has to be created or added in. And then finally, everyone's favorite, music, because we like to hear music, not dialogue. And just drown everything else. Which, this is good, we just have to change some things here. Make sure stereo, set this to 5.1. 5.1. Now I technically could get away with doing the dialogue as stereo. but I'm going to do the rest of these 5.1 or 7.1. And see, this is the part where some people would start disagreeing about setup, because at the end of the day, your dialogue is really going to be in the front two channels, so you don't need the 5.1. I guess I do it because I don't trust tech sometimes, and I want to make sure that I can tell it, yes, if it's 5.1, do it in the front two channels, which that's what stereo would do. Long story. Now you must be wondering, but Mitch, why would you do 5.1 in stereo if these dialogue stems are 5.1 and mixes down? If I want to do stereo, how is that going to work, or how does this all go together? You know, that's not a bad question. I'm going to color code things so I don't, confuse one thing for another. I'm kind of a weird. I like my colors. And let's make this tan. Extra boring. And then skin beige. And then let's go this like brownish thing and chocolate. Then let's do our dialogue. Green. Background is blue. SFX is purple, and our music is orange. Maybe one pink. Do you want pink? Yeah, I want pink. So make pink. All right, so this is our bus setups, but we are not done yet. So I'm just going to add a mono track, stereo track, stereo track, stereo track. All right. So first, let's make sure we get coded correctly. So we're going to keep all our dialogue green. Just for a second here. And you're going through naming tracks here so we don't get confused later. Kind of important. So if you obviously depending on what you have, you'd want to make sure that you have all their tracks kind of organized. Now, just to get rid of extra confusion, which again, I love you can do, can't really do this with Premiere naming tracks. Make sure we get our track colors right, which leave blue and track color are pink. And track color orange. And your next one. Alright, so we got some fun looking colors here, a bunch of other stuff, blah blah blah. Now, how does this all work together? All right, we're saying really, okay, you made stuff look pretty in an editor. How does this now tie together? Well, I'll show you. And also, thank you. It is pretty, but, you know, whatever it takes to keep you organized. So, in the link up here, we're going to go to Farlight and bus assign. So this is how we do all of our organization. You see there's a lot of ins and outs and shake it all abouts. So, I don't want this to go out like this. I don't want it like that. So what I just want to go out, if I don't want to go itself, is I don't want any of this. I just want the dialogue. Not any of the other tracks, any of this. So I want to take all the dialogue tracks and send them into the dialogue stem. So we're going to make sure we find the S1 dialogue stem. Click on the dialogue tracks. Background, click on that. Effects out, music out. Okay. Pretty simple, right? Now, we have stuff assigned to the right stems. We have to make sure that it gets to the right mixes. The stems go to the right mixes. So, I want to make sure we select the right stems. And so we have the stereo. Want dialogue, background, sound effects, and music. Then our stereo, music, and effects. I just want background, SFX, and music. The 5.1, I want dialogue, background, SFX, and music. And the M&E, I just want background, SFX, and music. And that gives us our configuration. So now everything's routed. It's going to play through the right channels. So there's this little drop down here. You see I can choose what's active as I work with and edit, things like that. If I need to add more tracks, I need to make sure to assign them to the right mixes, give the right colors so I don't get confused. If you look over here in monitor 2, you notice here we have the different stems and these ever increasing lines. And you can play with that. So then here you have your routing, your pans, which you never want to do full, but you never want you want your to be back. Then this is where you would do if it's more left or right. Shows off. Why are you not a stereo? What did I misconfigure here? No, that's right. Let me change the track to Right, stereo. Get there again, set it to the back. Set it to the back. And then now here, this is the part you'd go through with your automation tools and set where something is happening in the scene. So obviously right now this is center of the screen. This is my left, or your right. Not sure if this is going to come out. This is my right, your left, but you want how the character's viewing on screen to the viewer. So if I, as the character, start to move towards the left of the screen, or in this case, this is the right, you'd want to make your pan follow the movement. So when you get that nice surround sound image, it goes to one side or the other based on how it is. If you want to, even if I'm fully like here, you don't want to fully bring it over here. You want it still a little bit on this side too, to give it that spacing sound properly. There's a lot to post-production mixing sound that I can go into, but hopefully this at least gets you started on setting up your project, which I can say, not setting this up is a lot of time to go back in the background and change, and it really helps to do it right. So, hope this helps. Go and practice it.